Welcome back to more Final Fantasy 16. In the last episode, we made our way through the rest of the thing, Dragon's Fang, and made our way to the heart of the crystal where Kupka was hidden, where he had a mansion built, a palace, a castle, whatever you want to call it. And we had a gigantic, we had to fight a lot of specters, wraths, phantoms, whatever you want to call them, on the way there. We had I think we had two mini bosses. I know one for sure. I think two, but I'm pretty sure it was just one. And there's just like a giant big wave boss or giant wave enemy fight right before the Titan instead of a mini boss, where normally the game would put a mini boss. But I only remember one. It was the big fat dude that just teleported everywhere. But then we made it to Kupka, and he saw Benedicta being killed by Ifrit slash Clive, or I guess it was Ifrit, and then it became Clive. There was a little smirk on a little imposter Clive that he was seeing that Clive was not seeing. And then, thus ensued a three-part Titan boss fight. The first part of the boss fight was fine. I liked it. You know, it was very reminiscent to Garuda, right? And that was fine and dandy. It was okay. Less QTE cutscene battles than I was expecting compared to the Garuda one. And then the second one was like an on-rail run to several different mini platforms where you then fought him, which I guess seems similar to the first part of the Garuda fight when you're just normal Clive fighting Garuda, where you're on like a smaller platform. It makes more sense because like you're Clive, you're human, everything feels small. Compared to like if Clive was on that giant rock and not Ifrit, then it would feel a lot bigger. But you're Ifrit, so it feels small. Again, fine. You know, I remember seeing those shots from the trailer of Ifrit running up the Titan arms and whatnot. They used it as like this big cinematic thing. You know, just when we think we've killed him, you know, taken down Cthulhu Titan, as I like to call it, because he looks like Cthulhu. He looks like something of the Cthulhu mythology. Then you have a falling boss battle with him, almost reminiscent of, I guess reminiscent. It's very much in the same vein as the one you did at the very, very beginning of the game with Phoenix, right? With Phoenix and Ifrit, where you're Phoenix. It's very similar to that. So it's almost like this one was combining bits and pieces of the Phoenix fight and the Garuda fight and into one. Because those are the only like really icon battles we've done, right? Discounting the Ultima one we had with Ramu at Dragon's Head, I believe. The Fire Spirit at Dragon's whatever sword or something. I forget. The one where we went to the Iron Kingdom, the Fire Spirit or whatever. And when we went to that place north of Rosaria where we fought our inner demon to have better control of Ifrit, which so far hasn't really actually worked out in our favor in terms of like story moments where he's like trying to channel Ifrit and he just can't do it. He's failed a couple times now. Overall, I like the boss fight. But I do feel like it kind of overstays its spot. Like by the time we got to the falling part, I was just done. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like the whole falling part, I didn't like at all. I don't know. I liked the climactic ending like in there. I think that portion should have just been a QTE. If I'm going to be honest with you, I would have been so much happier if that section was just strictly QTE. Because I was zoned out by the time I got to that fight. Like the Cthulhu one wore me thin, and it's outstaying its welcome. And the other reason these fights are outstaying their welcome is because they're sponges, right? You do pebble damage to these guys. You're doing like 23,000 damage per strike, but it's doing pebble damage to these icons. And I feel like if you did a little more damage to them, and these fights ended just a little bit faster because you're damaging a little bit more. Or maybe the QTE strikes are doing more damage, right? If you want to compensate for your pebble damage to end them faster. I don't know. Something to make the fights end just a little bit quicker because, like I said, by the time I got to the third act in this fight, I was just zoned out. Like, I remember Garuda's was like 2 acts. This one was like 3. And I was just over it. It's like either do the falling one as the boss fight damage, or as the boss fight, or just don't do it. Have it be QTE, because it's just too much, and I'm just over it. Pretty much. I don't know. It's like, overall, I like it. I liked it a lot more than the Fire Spirit. That Fire Spirit was absolute garbage. The worst boss fight in this entire game. Like, the worst boss fight in this entire game so far is that stupid Fire Spirit from the Iron Kingdom. Just because he does the same 3 moves over and over again, and one of them has a very high chance of not dodging it. And my lock-on just kept on locking, and I didn't like that, because every time you teleported, it took your lock-on off, and I just... Either way, I think it's time we move on. I've ranted enough about the Titan boss fight. It was fine. It ran a little long. Could have been shorter. I'll just put it at that. Could have been shorter. The QTEs could have done more damage. Like, honestly, another way, like, I just thought of something. Like, another way to make the boss fight, like, shorter without having to really change, like, the damage discrepancies. Or the damage input, like how much you're damaging, is, like, if you want the falling one to be, like, how it was in this game, then I guess what I'm saying is make one of them strictly QTE. Make either Cthulhu Titan only QTE, like the on-rail shoot part you had at the beginning, and then once you get close to them and you're running on their arms, just have that part be QTE only. Right? Skip, like, the actual combat part, and then do the falling as is. Or do the Cthulhu Titan as is, and then have the falling Titan be QTE only. Just make one of them QTE only. And for me, the best way they can have their cake and eat it too is make Cthulhu QTE only, because you still have your on-rail shooter part at the beginning, which lasts like 2 to 3 minutes, and then you get to the QTE part, and then you can do your falling thing. Like, to me, that's like the best way they can have their cake and eat it, because the on-rail shooter part is still, like, unaffected by the QTE thing in my mind. But yeah, just make one or other Cthulhu Titan or Falling Titan QTE only, and this boss fight would have been so much more enjoyable than it already is. Because I personally would detract points from this boss fight specifically because of how long it ran and how much I just wanted it to be over with. Like, by the time I got to the volley part, I was like, I just want this to be over with. Just spare me and make it QTE only, please. It wasn't. They went the whole 9 yards, and it taxed my men brain. Jeez! Did I actually get that? The game won't tell me. If I was live streaming, yeah, the game would tell me. So we had our cake and ate it too. We didn't come here to do this. This was just icing on the cake. Oh.
What do you want?
Your soul is tainted with worthless human will, yet your thirst for power remains undiminished. With every sip you take, you grow in strength, and soon you shall achieve perfection.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will accept us, Mythos. It is inevitable. You were created for this purpose, and you shall serve it.
Never!
Fight it, Clive! Don't let him in!
Consciousness. We see now. Human will is so insubstantial it cannot exist in isolation. You mitigate its weakness by interweaving it with your consciousness. We believed we had merely to purge you of your will to claim our vessel. It appears we first have to sever every thread of the consciousness that supports it. No matter. The time to build a new world is not yet upon us. We will contemplate.
Thank you, Joshua.
Now, boy, but where the fuck are you?
One can no more command the power of ether by drowning in its flood than one can constrain the tides by standing in the sea. I had thought Hugo wiser than this, but it seems his head was full of rocks after all.
It's actually full of Benedicta, but that's besides the point.
Your Majesty. But Mythos is stronger. For 5 years, that man lived only for revenge. Clinging fast to a fiction, even as it swept him into the abyss. One cannot change one's nature through force of will alone. Only the Almighty can do that. Hugo Kupka, a man who gave his life for a woman's head. A fool like all the rest. That the death of a mother crystal should be so beautiful.
From stone to sand.
Some medicine, my lord?
This little girl's still trying.
I have salves, potions, anything you need.
Stop bothering me, urchin, or you'll feel the back of my hand.
You must consider your health, my prince. If a show of force is needed to keep the Dalmex at bay, you may trust in your dragoons. We beg you to call on Bahamut only as a last resort. His strength comes at too great a cost.
Empire agreed to an armistice with the Republic, and yet the Emperor still plots its ruin. For now, the Daleks suspect nothing, and as long as I can hold their gaze, war need not be inevitable. More than that, Bahamut is the champion of the Empire. When our people look to the heavens, the sight of him gives them hope.
Oh. Steamy. Not what I expected.
Forgive me, Terrence. That you were my master. But alas,
I will always be your loyal servant.
should the Council's brazen maneuvering prompt the Republic to tear up their own treaty and launch a new assault, our soldiers would advance to meet them, cutting across the Central Isles, but not in time to prevent their forces from breaching the southern defences and storming Twinside. And so the capital would become a battlefield. Thousands of innocents would die. I cannot allow that to happen.
There is one small mercy, at least. You will not be forced to do battle with Titan.
Not that I could avoid doing battle at all.
1,000 pardons, Your Highness.
What is it?
Olivier has been made Emperor. What is
What?
the meaning of this?
My father's orders. What were they? Quickly! Yes, Your Highness. His Radiance requests that Your Highness maintain position here and...
Ah! Terrence,
Yes, my prince.
we must go to the palace.
I'll ready your steed.
What is it now?
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness.
Joshua.
I know you.
Addie!
We stand in the presence of the Phoenix. You want to get your fingers burned. I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all. Though I admit, I did not expect such a distinguished guest.
How many years has it been since the Remembrance ceremony? 20?
I thought you long dead. Do I address a ghost?
Many have told me that I look like one. But I'm alive. Prince Dion of the House Visage, I have a tale to tell you.
How long before he starts coughing? Oh yeah, we're right here. Unable to travel, but it's where I'm at. Alright, back to the hideaway. Honestly, that was an interesting little scene. Okay, first off, wasn't expecting Dion to be gay. Not against it. Not expecting it. At all. Completely out of left field. But I respect it. And then how Joshua entered. Bends down. Do I address a ghost? I have been told that I look like one. But no. I am alive. Just. They're both sick. Joshua probably more so than Dion. Oh yeah, Olivia's been a literal child has been made emperor. So did his dad die, or did Annabelle manipulate him into giving up the crown for a little child? That's what I don't understand. Did she kill the dad, the husband, the emperor, or did she convince the emperor to give up the title to a little child? Because based on the one cutscene we saw him in, or I mean we've seen him in several, but the most distinguished one, right? Which is the one we saw an episode or two ago, right? Maybe 3, where he told Dion to go and that he was going to turn on the Dalmacian treaty, essentially, because it's just a piece of paper, right? Fuck it. Was that he seemed like he wasn't the kind of man to give up power, that he loved power. He relishes in the power that he has. He also probably doesn't know his son's gay. That would change things. But yeah, no, that is completely interesting. That whole scene. It just it reiterates in my mind why I like Joshua so much. Joshua is probably my favorite character in this entire game. I like Joshua and Joe both. They jive really well. I mean, I like Clive and Jill too. A lot of my likeness for Jill comes from just like her personal struggle and the fact that I think she's attractive. Sid's really great too, like the first one. And I like Uncle Byron. Uncle Byron's like the goof character you just love. Really full of life and everything. But let's travel back to the hideaway and see how everybody has handled me destroying a crystal by myself. And the Titan. I can't imagine they'll be happy. Well, I imagine they'll be happy, but not like happy, you know, but you know, like happy. It's just not that happy. You sure it's good?
This had better be the lot. It's a skiff or a bloody cargo freighter.
That is true. Can't hold that much weight.
What ways neat actually? Give me 50 good boards, 8 span each.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh no, they know. I'm assuming you'll have some dialogue.
The gentleman who visited earlier, the one with the loud voice, was your uncle. I didn't think there was a resemblance. Something in the eyes.
I don't know, he does kind of have Elwyn's hairstyle. They both kind of have the same hairstyle.
Why haven't we heard anything?
I'm sure we'll hear something soon.
Oh, he dead. Killed him. You dead. Let's talk to Karen.
Business or pleasure? Go on then.
I wouldn't say it's either, my lady.
Here's better on here. Can't find a better price than that.
Welcome on, Clive. I was hoping you'd be back soon.
I'm glad you were hoping. Oh, don't get stuck on the rail. Oh boy.
The same troops amassing at every border crossing.
No surprises there.
Okay, so the game's not forcing me into the dialogue. That's good.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Apparently, I've never asked about you.
Busy.
Top of my regular duties as a whisperer, Otto has piled countless tasks from transcribing to sorting stolus. Alright, I enjoy writing, I have ever since. Shirley. So what are we at? We're at 340? Damn. So one more, or 10 more renown, and we get Candle in the Night. Whatever the fuck that is. I'm assuming you're just gonna tell me there's another hunt. Oh. That's a lot more hunts. An S? I don't want to do an S. I don't even want to do A's. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them.
And how may I assist you today? How may I help you today?
Well, let's see. They both have it. So who the fuck are those two we saw? Right? Are they even on here? No, this is my shit. This Malay. Lord, okay. Lord Harvard. Oh, so you're the Odin dominant, not you. Okay. That makes sense. So you're the two we saw fighting, like, relatively close to the beginning of the game. That all makes more sense. Well, he's not the Emperor anymore. Now it's him.
I have the details here. One must understand one's place in the world.
You say so.
Very good.
It's time to stop piddle-paddling.
Clive, you're back.
I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back in Sid's place are smiling down at you right now.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Didn't have a choice. Tara would chop my head off.
Any word on the royalist movement since I've been away?
Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian.
Thank you. I will.
Interesting, because I just got done talking to her.
If you're desperate to know more about Willard, Vivian's your girl. But if I were you, I'd be heading straight to my bed.
Not bad for a boy from the Imperial Barracks, eh? Not bad for a boy from the Imperial Barracks, eh?
It's good to have you back. I was worried.
Aw.
The same troops amassing at every border crossing.
No surprises there.
Alright, Vivian. Give me the deeds. Give me that sweet, sweet tea.
Conquering hero returns. And with hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up one or two.
Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident physiker suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the royalists, he took them to his grave, as did his men. Slaughtered by the orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One
Nope.
can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map?
Alright, Dora.
The kingdom of Walud claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War of Independence in 849. The Battle of the Twin Realms in 865. The Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Walud shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the mother crystal for Walud? It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waluda standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the royalists betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw, especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal, considering the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
Here for another of my lectures.
That's
What
just-
is it that you wish to learn?
What's new?
Study it well, Clive. The state of the realm is ever-changing. And how may I assist you today?
Kupka and the Fang were bedrock upon which the Republic stood. Now that they both have crumbled, Dalmekian's descent into chaos is
So
often
what of
assured.
its parliament?
Will the ministers not take it upon themselves to pick up the pieces for their crumbling nation? I doubt they will have little love for their people, only their
Which leaves but one
self-preservation.
man.
Hugo Hevel. If any is to pick up the baton of the command, it shall surely be him. But as the bitter tides of ire and avarice rise around him, how long will he be able to keep his head above water?
Harpocrates, Blackthorn, Kupka took something from them.
And then she's just like, alright, here's 3 people you should really let know Kupka's dead. So let's start with Blackthorn and make our way across. And then we'll probably end the episode because, yeah, it'll be a little shorter episode. That's only because I have to go to bed and that Titan ended at a weird angle. Weird timing.
Do you have a moment?
What is it? Busy?
I wanted to tell you that Hugo Kupka is dead.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to hear those words. This is it then. A new beginning. During you, Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
I think you already did. You killed Hugo.
Well, someone looks pleased with himself. It's true what I'm hearing, then.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
No more looking over our shoulders, then. Good. Start to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though.
Wouldn't dream on it. Alright, Harpocrates. The history man himself.
Ah, Clive. Have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oh, my. Can it really be true?
Look, he's crying. He is. Big baby.
And with good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might be with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, Ultima came to me. I need to know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, no. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him with my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught.
Joshua.
Only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
It's how he says it so quietly that you know it. Like it bothers him. I like the Ultima situation. It's like under his skin.
Oh, shit.
thought this would be about Hugo's death. It's not. Yeah, I thought it was going to be about Hugo's death, but it wasn't.
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Well, at least other people are starting to know. Don't wave at me, man.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something.
Just spreading the word.
But yeah, it was my payment.
So, Professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though. Everyone was glad to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old Hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing. Not least of all Sid. You should tell him.
You're right. I should. And I will.
Well, when you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going at it hammer and tong down at that workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well. I'll suggest it.
What does Starja have to say about it?
You're going to tell me. Thank you, Clive. Thank you.
That's it. Oh, Jill's now. She's no longer here. Whew. I think she's probably in that, the main room, right? My room? Wasn't likely, anyway.
When it comes to boyish charm, Goose has an indomitable rival. One is the sweet little babe in arms to be pulled over. The other, the naughty little boy who pull on my pigtails.
Or pigtails. You don't have pigtails.
Let me know if you find any books worth reading.
Alright, but like I said, this was going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. And it's only shorter by like 10 or so minutes. But in the next episode, we'll talk to Mid and go visit Sid's grave. But it's time for me to go to bed. And who knows? Maybe I'll record more tomorrow. Maybe I won't. It won't matter to you. You won't see this video for like another 2 weeks. Oh, that's a little weird. Or like a week and a half. Whatever. Hope you have a good day. Remember, only you can be the best you can possibly be. And ta-ta. For now.